I welcome our principal, Dr. Johnson Prem Kumar, for this program, for this Viva VOC. I welcome all the external examiner, Dr. Usha Rani, University Observer, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, and Principal, Dr. Johnson Prem Kumar, and all the teaching faculty of YMCA College. And
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It is not.
Principal sir, co-host.
Okay.
Mic access பண்ணு.
தொடுத்துடைய கிளாஸ் ஒன்று செல்ல விட்டு பிடிச்சோம் செல்ல இங்க நின்றுட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Steffy, can we start, Steffy?
Yes, ma'am.
Usha, ma'am, can we start, ma'am? Morning,
You
sir.
can start, ma'am. Start.
Okay.
A very good morning to everyone those who have gathered here. It's indeed a great pleasure sharing the knowledge that we have gained with all of you to enrich and interact upon this research. And for this, I request Dr. Johnson Prem Kumar, our principal, to kindly pray and welcome the gathering. So please.
It's a silent prayer or prayer?
Prayer, sir, prayers.
Let us pray. Our heavenly gracious Father, thank you for this wonderful day, Lord. Thank you for this gathering, Lord. Lord, we are gathering here to conduct the Ph.D. Viva's examination for Steffy. Lord, lead us, guide us. We need your presence throughout this Viva's examination, Lord. We ask in the name of Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
It's a great privilege and honor to propose the welcome address. I welcome my beloved alumnus of our great YMCA College of Physical Education, Dr. Usha Rani. I never forget Usha Rani because from his step into the physical education program from Ph.D. onwards, from his admission till his complete his Ph.D. and other thing, she is a very good committed for the profession and hardworking. Because of his hard work and because of God's grace, God given a very good opportunity to place in a very good position in Alagappa University. I really congratulate my student Usha Rani for his great elevation in his life. And on behalf of the YMCA College of Physical Education and my personal behalf, I welcome Dr. K. Usha Rani for the YOC examiner for Immaculate Steffy. Welcome you, ma'am. I welcome the Rajesh Kumar from Tamil Nadu Physical Education Sports University as a university observer. Rajesh is always busy. Whenever he calls, he is always busy. He taken so many responsibilities in the university and is committed towards his profession. But his busy schedule, he accepts the responsibility as a university observer for Ph.D. Viva's examination for Immaculate Steffy. I will, on behalf of YMCA College of Physical Education Research Center, I give a warm welcome to Rajesh Kumar. Welcome you, Rajesh Kumar. And I welcome the research guide and supervisor, also my student. I'm proud to say in this Viva's examination, the two alumnus of YMCA College of Physical Education is present, and because of his valuable knowledge in the field of physical education, I know Glory already come to more than 10 scholars, because it shows his hard work and commitment towards the profession. On behalf of the Research Center of YMCA College of Physical Education, I give a warm welcome to Glory to proceed for the Ph.D. YOS examination of his scholar, Immaculate Steffy. But I do not know much about Immaculate Steffy. On behalf of YMCA College, I give a warm welcome.
Thank you.
God will help you to defend your PhD YOS examination.
Thank you,
All
sir.
the best.
I
God
am definitely a student. You have taken classes for me during my MSc Psychology in Tamil Nadu Sports University 10 years ago. I am also a student.
Okay,
I hold that privilege, yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome you all. Wish you all the best. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now I request Dr. Rajesh Kumar, the University Observer. He's an assistant professor from Tamil Nadu Physical Education Sports University. Sir, kindly speak a few words. Thank you.
Very good morning to one and all person here. First of all, I would like to thank University authorities, Vice Chancellor and Registrar and Controller, giving me an opportunity to act as an observer, University Observer. And also, I do thank our respected Principal, YMCA College of Physical Education, Johnson, sir. And also, I do thank research guide, Glory ma'am, and the scholar. It's a great day. I congratulate for both scholars and research guides. I would like to convey the few things. In the sports universities, we have around 125 acres of land facilities. We have very good infrastructure facilities. We have synthetic track, and we have ball badminton indoor, and we have many indoor facilities are available in our university campus. We are running multiple courses: biomechanics, physical education, psychology, sociology. Why I am telling you must know what are the courses are running in our campus. It's a very big university, and also I proud to say I'm alumni of the university, Tamil Nadu Sports University. I congratulate. Yes, I congratulate guide and scholars to present a well manner. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, sir. And Dr. Usha Rani is my great senior when I was a student, and she was doing her master's degree and then her MPhil. Madam is an outstanding volleyball player. She is an All India gold medalist, member of Madras University. She is very much interested in volleyball and exercise physiology. And I'm so delighted to have her as my examiner. As a student, I have learned so much from her. For all our CA semester exams, we used to go and ask and learn exercise physiology from her, I remember. And such a motivating and a role model person. Madam, we are indeed very, very happy to have you as our external examiner. Thank you very much, ma'am. Steffi's journey to this PhD is quite long, but still then it is very interesting. She is a very enthusiastic person, positive oriented, positive minded personality. And she has completed her BSc in Queen Mary's College and then her BPed at Bharatiyar University with a gold medalist. She received her gold medal from Dr. Rosaya, then the governor of Tamil Nadu. And she's also the silver medalist in her master's degree. She has completed both NET as well as SLET. And she's a very, very intelligent student, a very positive-minded person. And she has also had an experience of working in GSS Jain College, SSS Jain College in Chennai. And she is D licensed. She has fetched her D license in football coaching by Indian Football Federation and also C license in football coaching by Asian Football Confederation. And then she's a certified referee in football from Tamil Nadu Football Association, Class 2, and a completed community coaches training program for the disabled up to level 3. And she has got so many caps to her head. She is skilled and learned karate And she's a Form 3 holder and represented so many times the Bharatiyar University and Madras University in football. She also know different languages like Tamil as a mother tongue, Tamil, English, German, and French. She's a very, very talented and enthusiastic person, and I'm very happy to have her as my scholar for this PhD. Thank you very much. Best wishes, Steffy. And now I hand over to Dr. Usha Rani, ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Most respected principal, Johnson Prem Kumar sir, respected other members, research scholars, respected Rajesh Kumar sir, University Observer. First of all, I would like to give my thanks to the university authorities to accept me as an external examiner for Glory Darling Scholar. I am very happy. At the same time, I feel very happy to see Johnson Prem Kumar sir in this position. I'm very, very happy because we are the students. We are very enjoying those days with sir's class. He took the class very nicely. He is mingled with us like a friend. Like he advised, also he support each and everything. So we are happy to see sir in this fine occasion. I'm very happy to say my gratitude to Johnson Prem Kumar sir. I'm very happy, sir. Thank you very much. Also, Glory, she is also my junior. We both are very happily enjoyed the physical education classes. Those days, we enjoyed a lot in the ground as well as the hostel. I'm very happy to see her in this height. I'm very happy. Also, I'm thank Glory also and other members. I have these opportunities. Also, that scholar, she discussed a lot of things about her. I think she is also a good gem for this physical education subject of the physical education field. I'm very happy to welcome such a person with a guide and scholar. Now you can present your research. We have to go ahead. Then we have to discuss after some time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have taken over the forum. I'll start, and during the finish, I'll convey my gratitude and thanks to the members in the forum. Share my screen. This is my research title. The title is Impact of Various Small-Sided Games with and Without Ball Practices on Selected Physical, Physiological, and Skill-Related Performance Variables of Women Soccer Players. So football, most known by everyone, football is a popular sport that has many players who want to evolve themselves, show familiarity, earn maximum results. So my base of the study is football. So I have taken one particular depth from football is called small-sided games, which are played less than 11 members aside. Many new evolvers, researchers have taken small-sided games so that it would provide maximum results in playing a main game. I have given definitions for all the term words: speed, agility, explosive power, cardiorespiratory endurance, heart rate, resting heart rate, VO to max, vital capacity, dribbling in football, passing in football, kicking in football, and definition for small-sided games also. The statement of my problem is the purpose of the study was to find out the impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices on selected physical, physiological, and skill-related performance variables of women soccer players. These are the objectives of the study. The objectives were to find out the impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices on selected physical, physiological, and skill-related performance variables of women soccer players, and also to measure, assess their physical, physiological, skill-related performance over the football players by accessing their dribbling, passing, and kicking skills, and also to understand the importance of various small-sided games with and without ball practices of women soccer players, and also to provide them a suitable training material to make desirable changes over the small-sided games of women soccer players. These are the significance of the study. The study was significant in the following aspects. This study helped to find out the physical, physiological, and skill-related performance of soccer players. This was also helpful for the players to know their status. This packages of the training was useful for the players for improving their skill performances like dribbling, passing, and kicking. This result of the study has created an excessive interest in designing and administrating variables like speed, agility, explosive power, and cardiorespiratory endurance. The findings of the study will provide guidance to the physical education teachers and also to prepare a training schedule for the specific events based on the capacity of the players. It will also be definitely useful to understand specific changes that takes place on different training methods. This is the hypothesis. It was hypothesis that there would be a significant improvement on selected physical fitness variables among women soccer players due to the effect of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. Second hypothesis, it was hypothesis that there would be a significant improvement on physiological variables among women soccer players due to the effect of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. Third hypothesis, it was hypothesis that there would be a significant improvement on selected skill-related performance variables among women soccer players due to the effect of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. Fourth hypothesis, when comparing the effects of various small-sided games with and without ball practices training group, the various small-sided games without ball practices training group may be superior group than the various small-sided games with ball practices training group. In
If we go for slideshow, ma.
Yes,
Slideshow.
ma'am.
Yes.
May be superior than the various small-sided games with ball practices training group in the improvement of physical variables among women soccer players. Fifth hypothesis, when comparing the effects of various small-sided games with ball practices training group and various ball practices without ball practices training group, the various small-sided games without ball practices training group may be superior than the various small-sided games with ball practices training group in the improvement of physiological variables among women soccer players. Sixth hypothesis, when comparing the effects of various small-sided games with ball practices training group and various small-sided games without ball practices training group, the various small-sided games without ball practices training group may be superior than the various small-sided games with ball practices training group in the improvement of skill performance variables among women soccer players. These are the limitations of the study. The study was limited to the following aspects, and these limitations were taken into consideration and interpretation of data and the result. Consequences of anonymous and intense factors like food habits, lifestyle, all those conditions of the subjects during the training as well as the testing period have influenced the test items that were accepted as limitations. The changes in the climatic conditions such as temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity during the training as well as the testing period could not be controlled, so their influence on the result of the study was recognized as limitations. Apart from the training program, the involvement of the subject in the daily routine was not taken into consideration. No specific motivational techniques were never used to encourage the subjects to attain their maximum performance. These are the boundaries of the study. The study was conducted on 90 women soccer players from Chennai. Their age ranged from 18 years to 21 years. The study was delimited to physical variables such as speed, agility, explosive power, and cardiorespiratory endurance. Study was delimited to physiological variables such as resting heart rate, VO to max, and vital capacity. Study was delimited to skill performance variables such as dribbling, passing, and kicking. The training period was delimited to 12 weeks only. So I have given a few related literature. These were around 30 related literatures were closely associated with my study. It also helped to find out the significance. And moving on to the methodology. Selection of subjects for the study. I selected 90 intercollegiate 11 women soccer players from Immaculate FC, Triple S Jain College for Women, and GSS Jain College for Women, as their age ranging from 18 to 21 years were selected. Subjects were randomly assigned into 3 groups, each group consisting of 30 people. Group 1 is named as small-sided games with ball practices training group. Group 2 is named as small-sided games without ball practices training group, and Group 3 as control group. All the subjects were fully informed regarding the nature and the experimental methodology, and their subjects also gave their consent to participate in this investigation. Moving on to the selection of the variables, a set of variables were selected were also measured. Those are speed, agility, explosive power, cardiorespiratory endurance, VO to max, resting pulse rate, vital capacity, dribbling, passing, and kicking were also selected. In addition to this, by using my own personal knowledge and professional experience in soccer, I selected the most ideal variables that were used for the present investigation. I have displayed a flow chart which adapted the procedure in the study. 90 women soccer players, they were divided into 3 groups, Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Group 1 is small-sided games with ball practices. Group 2 is small-sided games without ball practices. And Group 3 is control group. They were pre-tested and post-tested on these 3 variables. Physical fitness variables, physiological variables, and skill-related performance variables. Physical variables criterions are speed, which was measured with 50 meters dash and the unit of measurement in seconds. Agility was measured by Illinois agility run, which was the unit of measurement in seconds. Next one is explosive power, measured with standing broad jump, unit of measurement in meters. Next one is cardiorespiratory endurance, which was measured with 9 minutes Cooper test, unit of measurement in minutes. Moving on to the physiological variables. First criterion is the resting pulse rate, tested with biomonitor, unit of measurement in beats per minute. Next one is VO to max, tested with Queen's College step test, unit of measurements kg per minute. Next one is vital capacity, measured with wet spirometer, unit of measurement in liters. Moving on to the skill performance variables, first criterion is dribbling. All the 3 criterions were measured with Sir Bobby Charlton's test, in which dribbling is unit of measurement in seconds, passing and kicking is unit of measurement in points. This is a common training schedule. Number of weeks were 12 weeks. Number of sessions per week was 5 sessions. Duration of each session was 120 minutes. I have given 10 minutes for the warm-up. Rest interval between repetitions were 30 seconds to 1 minute. Rest intervals between the sets were 1 minute. Rest intervals between each exercises 1 to 2 minutes. And I have given 10 minutes for warm down. This is the training schedule for the experimental group 1, that is various small-sided games with ball practices training group. For the all the 12 weeks, I have given these drills on a rotation with as mentioned, the durations were 5 sessions, 120 minutes, 10 minutes for warm-up, 30 seconds to 1 minute for the rest intervals between repetitions, and 1 minute for the rest interval between seconds, and rest intervals between exercise and warm down. So I have given training schedule for the experimental group 1 this way, and training schedule for the experimental group this way. And there is no training schedule for the experimental group, for the control group. So moving on to the statistical technique, the data is collected from the 3 groups prior and post to the experimentation on selected dependent variables were statistically analyzed to find out the significant difference, if any, by applying the analysis of covariance. Since 3 groups were involved, whenever the obtained F ratio for the adjusted post-test means was found to be significant, the Steffi's test was applied as a post-hoc test to determine the paired mean differences. In all the cases, the level of confidence was fixed at 0.05 for significance. Moving on to the analysis of results and discussion on hypothesis. Fine. Please excuse. Difference of mean values between pre-test and post-test on selected variables of various small-sided games with ball practices training group. This is the T ratio. This slide shows the T ratio on physical, physiological, and skill performance variables with ball practices training group, which were 53.9, 12.7, 17.2, 12.0, 5.2, 11.3, 16.6, 21.5, 3.8, and 23.9. Since these values are higher than the required table value of 2.045, it was found to be statistically significant at 0.05 level of confidence for the degrees of freedom 1 and 29. This slide shows the T ratios of physical, physiological, and skill-related performance variables of various small-sided games without ball practices training group are 33.7, 18.4, 8.18, 8.7, 7.5, 13.9, 19.2, 14.8, 4.5, and 24.2. respectively. Since these values are higher than the required table value of 2.045, it was found to be statistically significant at 0.05 level of confidence for the degrees of freedom 1 and 29. These are the values. This slide shows the T ratios of physical, physiological, and skill-related performance variables for the control group, which are 1.9, 0.8, 1.5, 0.1, 0.9, 0.2, 1.1, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3 respectively. Since these values are lesser than the required table value of 2.045, it was found to be statistically insignificant at 0.05 level of confidence. This slide shows the analysis of covariance for the experimental groups and control group on speed. This is the post-test mean 75.038 and the adjusted post-test mean 829.4. The obtained F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degree of freedom 2 to 86 at 0.05 level of confidence. It was concluded that the performance of speed was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This is a bar diagram explaining, showing the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test mean of all the three groups on speed. Moving on to the ANOVA of experimental groups and control group on agility. This is the post-test mean 5.427 and 48.76. The obtained F ratio was these values. Since the obtained F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86, at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of agility was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram shows the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on agility. Moving on to the next one is explosive part. Post-test mean is 5.392. And adjusted post-test mean is 68.098. Since the observed F ratio value was greater than the required table value 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of the explosive bar was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. And this bar diagram shows the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on explosive bar. Moving on to the cardiorespiratory endurance. post-test mean is 19.50 and adjusted post-test mean is 50.88. Since the observed F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of cardiorespiratory endurance was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram depicts the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on cardiorespiratory endurance. Moving on to the resting pulse rate. The post-test mean is F ratio is 9.729 and adjusted post-test mean is 13.317. Since the observed F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of resting pulse rate was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram depicts pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on resting pulse rate. Moving on to vital capacity, the observed F ratio value is 3.221 and for the adjusted post-test mean, it is 52.0. Since the observed F ratio is greater than the table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of the performance of vital capacity was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram depicts pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on vital capacity. Moving on to the VO2 max, the F ratio value for the post-test mean is 6.19 and adjusted post-test mean is 42.037. The observed F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence. It was concluded that the performance of VO2 max has significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram depicts the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on VO2 max. Moving on to the skill-related performance variables. In dribbling, the observed F ratio is 4.54 and 54.35. Since the observed F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that the performance of dribbling was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram depicts pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on dribbling. Moving on to the next variable is next criterion is passing. The observed F ratio value is 3.825 and 14.67. Since the observed F ratio was greater than the required table value of 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that performance of passing was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram shows the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on passing. The final criterion is kicking. The F ratio values are 30.98 and 269.87. Since the observed F ratio value is greater than the required table value 3.10 for the degrees of freedom 2 and 86 at 0.05 level of confidence, it was concluded that performance of kicking was significantly influenced by the treatments used in the study. This bar diagram reflects the pre-test, post-test, and adjusted post-test means of all the three groups on kicking. it's mentioned as passing. It's kicking. Discussion on the findings. The results of the study indicate that both the experimental groups, namely various small-sided games with ball practices and SSG without ball practices, have shown significant changes in the selected dependent variables, namely speed, agility, explosive power, resting heart rate, VO to max, dribbling, passing, and kicking. It has also been found that significant changes achieved by various small-sided games with ball practices training group are remarkable when compared with those of the various small-sided games without ball practices training group. This supervised training, either various small-sided games with ball practices or various small-sided games without ball practices, improves physical fitness variables and physiological variables, and also skill-related performance variables of women's soccer players. These findings of the study are supported by following reference. These are the references that were taken from the reviews of related literature. Nearly, as mentioned earlier, nearly 30 studies have also proven Rumi Iqbal, he has invested the effects of small-sided games training methods on passing basic techniques on Indonesian players. Leonardo has found out physical and physiological responses of under 14, 16, and under 18 soccer players on different small-sided games. Sergio has found out that characterize a common microcycle considering both internal and external training loads, and also to identify the effects of small-sided games and the power of strength training on fitness status of football players. Phillips made a comparison of the effect of high-intensity interval training to those of small-sided games and other training protocols and parameters related to physiology and performance of youth soccer players. Xavier compared the activity profiles in the external load during soccer 7 competition versus 6 small-sided games in under 12 players. Moving on to the discussion on the findings. To conclude, the existing difference in various small-sided games with ball practices training group and SSG without ball practices training group has led to be different between two recent research experimental groups, because separate training within recent research had an higher intensity. In the various small-sided games without ball practices training group, the selected parameters are influenced by various small-sided games with ball practices training group in the women's soccer players. Discussion on the hypothesis. In the first hypothesis, I mentioned that there would be significant improvement on physical fitness variables among women soccer players due to the impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the first research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. In the second hypothesis, it was mentioned that there would be significant improvement on physiological variables among women soccer players due to the impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the second research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. In the third hypothesis, it was mentioned that there would be significant improvement on skill performance variables among women soccer players due to the impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the third research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. Fourth one, when comparing the effects of SSG with ball practices training group and SSG without ball practices training group, the SSG without ball practices training group may be superior than the SSG with ball practices training group in the improvements of physical fitness variables among women soccer players. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the fourth research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. In the fifth hypothesis, it was mentioned that when comparing the effects of SSG with ball practices training group and SSG without ball practices training group, the SSG without ball practices training group may be superior than the SSG with ball practices training group in the improvement of physiological variables among women soccer players. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the sixth research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. sixth hypothesis. In the last and sixth hypothesis, it was mentioned that when comparing the effects of SSG with ball practices training group and SSG without ball practices training group, the SSG with ball practices training group may be superior than the SSG without ball practices training group in the improvement of skill-related performance variables among women soccer players. The present study produced similar results. Hence, the sixth research hypothesis of the investigator has been accepted. Conclusion. From the analysis of the data, the following conclusions were drawn. The experimental groups, namely various small-sided games with ball practices training group and various small-sided games without ball practices training group, had significantly improved physical fitness variables such as speed, agility, explosive power, and cardiorespiratory endurance. The experimental groups, namely various small-sided games with ball practices training group and various small-sided games without ball practices training group, had significantly improved physiological variables such as VO to max, resting heart rate, and vital capacity. Third conclusion, the experimental groups, namely SSG with ball practices training group and SSG without ball practices training group, had significantly improved skill-related performance variables such as passing, dribbling, and kicking. Various small-sided games without ball practices training group was found to be having a greater impact than SSG with ball practices training group and control group in enhancing the performances of speed, agility, explosive power, and cardiorespiratory endurance. Fifth conclusion is various small-sided games without ball practices training group have a greater impact than various small-sided games with ball practices training group in enhancing the performance of resting pulse rate, VO to max, and vital capacity. Sixth conclusion, various small-sided games with ball practices was found to have greater impact than various small-sided games without ball practices and control group in enhancing skill-related performances like dribbling, passing, and kicking. These are the recommendations that are founded from the present investigations. Women soccer players will take necessary steps to improve the skill, physical fitness variables, physiological variables, and skill-related performance variables by including small-sided games with and without ball practices training program in their regular practice schedule. Similar studies can be conducted on men's soccer players for evaluation, and also can be conducted for the under 17, under 14, and under 11 boys and girls, and also for grassroots. Thank you.
Madam?
Yes. Yeah, she presented her thesis in a very fantastic manner.
Thank you.
She selected a topic, also a very effective topic. It is very useful for the football soccer players, both men and women. Any queries from participants? Anybody want to raise any questions or get any information from the research scholar? No. Okay. Okay, I'll ask some clarification from the research scholar. What induced to take this topic? Because small-sided games, it is a different type of topic you selected. How do you find this problem or a topic?
Yes, what happened is when I was a player, we had only limited space for practicing. So my consideration was when we play in a limited field, we will not be able to perform well in the larger field. So during my work days also, when I was a coach or a physical director, I had the space constraint in the college that I was working. I had to rent a ground outside to make the players play 11 aside. So it was difficult. So playing in a small field can also provide better results was my intuition. So with that, I chose this topic.
Very good, very good. On the whole, what do you like to say based on your result to the soccer players? Which
Yes.
training is better, do you think,
Yes.
based on the result?
Yes, this is the reason that I selected small-sided games. I have many juniors and students who are growing in football. They also have the same problem like me. Playing in a smaller field cannot provide results. So with proper supervision and proper training in small-sided games, they will definitely achieve good results while playing in the 11-a-side team.
Do you feel which training you given to trainees?
Yes,
One is
small-sided games with
ball,
ball practices
down,
and without
without
ball
ball.
practices.
Which is good according to your result, you feel?
With ball practices training group will be helpful for the skill related performance. So that one I suggest strongly for the players, upcoming players.
Very good, very good. I appreciate the research scholar and the guide. He explained very nicely because of a player and coach. I think she's explained very beautifully her topic, her research work. Impact of various small-sided games with and without ball practices on selected physical, physiological, and skill-related performance variables of women soccer players. Definitely is a nice presentation.
Thank you.
I appreciate the research scholar and the guide. Also, I extend my congratulations to the scholar and the guide. Also, I support the university authorities. Sophie hereafter called Dr. Sophie. Definitely, his study is very effective and useful for the soccer society or physical education society. Very good, very good.
Somebody is raising their hand to talk something.
Dr.
Oh, yeah, you
Ponnan.
ask them. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Ponnan Barasu.
Dr. Ponnam Baras.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Now only I could be able to unmute because previously I tried, it was not unmute my mic. Yeah, now can you hear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, okay. Immaculate Steffy, a very well presentation. I really have chosen the different topic which is not covered by previous, I think, hope so. Because even I have an intention to conduct a study like this, a very good thing. One clarification, just I'd like to ask here. You mentioned 12-week training, right?
Yes, sir.
The training schedule, right?
Yes.
That means 3 months training schedule.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the difficulties you faced? And I feel that if could be in your future research, because as a Ph.D. Level, it should be minimum 4 months or 6 months. That will be a very effective experimental, according to my view. So it's my suggestion, not a things. So how to be able to manage that 12-week season? In that schedule, did you drastically, that is you change the schedule, the weeks are like that, or from the beginning, month-wise, same training schedule you have followed?
No,
First month, second month, third month, like that, weeks.
Yes, yes. There is nothing called intensity. I have given the intensity in the form of lesser first month of training. I have given a larger field for playing and larger number of players, so the intensity will be less. And the second month, lesser number of players and lesser the field size, and the intensity will be moderate. For the last month, that is the third month, I have given shorter field, that is 2x2. Only 2x2 players can play inside. So lesser the width of the field and length of the field, lesser the number of players, then intensity will be high, definitely high. So this way I have given higher performance for each month.
Oh, so when you keep on changing that larger area and smaller area, you don't find the difference that you according to your experiment, that is a lesser area, you got high intensity improvement, right?
Yes, yes.
I see. Okay. So So my feeling is that that when we are changing the training schedules, no, at larger area and smaller area,
Yes.
definitely the focus point and while during the play, no, there
Yes.
might be the accuracy may be missing, and sometimes even the skill performance can be vary. I hope so, because keep on changing. No, should be, I think, smaller to higher. We should move when we are conducting a training schedule.
It might
So
affect the
this is my
significance
suggestion.
of
I feel
the.
to say.
I will take your suggestion, but moving from smaller field to the larger field, the significance may vary because the intensity will become less. Higher number of players, they will have more
Yes.
rest time inside the field for playing. So lower number of players, they will have more ball contact,
Yeah.
more time to play. They need to constantly touch the ball. So the intensity will definitely be high when the player is less in the lesser field.
Yeah, you
Yes.
are right. That then intensity point, it is correct. At the same time, the physiological factor definitely less area covering. No, the physiological
Yes.
factor will be not more impact compared to the larger area. So in
Okay, fine.
physiological factors,
Okay,
that is
sir.
my point. I want. So if you could increase the training schedule 12 weeks to you make 20 weeks or like that, will be effective
Definitely, I'll
studies.
take your consideration. When I do
You
my
can suggest and you can adapt.
postdoctoral
That's
degree, I'll
my
definitely
view.
consider.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
nice
for the opportunity.
discussion.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you, sir.
My
Okay, thank you.
congratulations
Thank
to Supervisor Dr. Glory, ma'am, and external examiner Dr. Usarani, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other information from anybody wants to get from the research scholar? Shall we conclude this? Okay, okay. I'm very happy. It is a time to congratulate the scholar and the guide. I appreciate the scholar for her effective explanation. Yeah, very good explanation for the queries raised by Dr. Anwar sir. Because of once we involved in the games, only we have to explain like this. So I appreciate her genuine work. For the completion of this PhD research work. Very good, congratulations. And at the same time, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to the University authorities of Tamil Nadu Sports University, also registrar and other members, respected principal of the YMCA College of Physical Education. I'm very happy to extend my heartfelt thanks to this fine session. Also, I express my heartfelt thanks to Glory and research scholar and all the members. Those are giving me the opportunity to contact every time with my own mother department. I think like YMCA College of Physical Education, because I so much love our institution. Whenever I see the physical education, immediately I say where is YMCA, like that I be searching. So I'm very happy to be connected with YMCA all the years of service. I'm very happy to say my heartfelt thanks to the university authorities and the College of Physical Education, YMCA College of Physical Education, and all the members. Also Rajkumar sir from University Observer. So all the members, I'm very happy to say my heartfelt thanks to this fine occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
A vote of thanks by Steffy.
Yes. First and foremost, I thank the Lord Almighty. He has created life from a bone that was empty, as said in the book of Ezekiel. So is my PhD. God has brought me till this. So I'm thanking the Lord Almighty for making me complete this PhD degree. Secondly, I'm thanking my parents, my elder sister Clara Benjamin and our son Jerus for their support. They have been my backup for all the time. Whenever I fall, they raise me up. So my heartfelt thanks to my family. Nextly, I'm thanking my guide, Dr. Glory, and her family. Sorry, I'm being little emotional because of the journey that I have been through all the 10 years. It took me 10 years to complete this PhD degree. Ma'am has been so accommodative, so generous in support. I'm not definitely exaggerating. She's such a gem of a person. Ma'am, may God bless your work so that people like me find peace in your work. they also get benefited from you. And also ma'am's family, Dr. Gladys sir, he also is so accommodative. Thanks for accommodating me every time, ma'am. And then I'm thanking the Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and Controller of the Tamil Nadu Sports University for granting me the permission to do it in online. Nextly, I'm thanking Dr. Prem Kumar sir, the former research coordinator, and the current research coordinator, Dr. Thurai sir, and also the controller, Dr. Murugavel sir. And thanks to them, without their help, this wouldn't be possible. And nextly, I'm thanking the observer, Dr. Rajesh Kumar sir, the external examiner, Dr. Usha ma'am, the principal of YMCA college. And I would also like to thank Dr. Grace Helena madam and also Dr. Abraham Davidson sir. They were the doctoral committee members. They guided me throughout the research. They gave valuable inputs. So I'm thanking them. Nextly, I'm thanking Mrs. Kyle from Tamil Nadu Sports University, Research Coordinator's assistant. She also gave a great support. She shared necessary documents for me to submit on time. So I'm thanking Mrs. Kyle. Nextly, I'm thanking my co-scholars, Dr. Navina Priya, Dr. Maya. They also have supported me. They gave me documents that I have that has to be completed. Special thanks to Dr. Navina Priya, because she recommended Glory ma'am to do my PhD. If not Glory ma'am, I wouldn't have completed my PhD. Thank you so much for Navina Priya. And I'm thanking Mrs. Rajni Jainath, my school PE teacher. She's my role model that I choose physical education as profession. She's working as she is an alumni of YMCA college. She is also a junior of Glory ma'am. You all studied together in the Madurai Sports Hostel. She is such a person. She is my role model. And I'm thanking my cousin sister Bettila. She showed a timely help. Without her help, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you, Bettila. And I'm thanking my sister Shobana, Miss Shobana. She is a coach. She is my sister from another mother. She has been shoulder whenever I can rely upon. So I am thanking my sister Shobana for always being with me. And I'm thanking Dr. Giridhara Prasad, lecturer from Bharatiya University. Whenever I need help in the research, he is there to respond to me immediately. Thank you, Giri, for helping me throughout till day. And I'm thanking my friends Vaishnavi, Dr. Monica, Dr. Dhanalakshmi. They are the friends till day. Whenever I need and support, they would be ready to help me, render any help, any type of help. They are my stress busters. And I'm thanking all the participants who have joined, respecting my words. And I have also have few friends in France. They have also rendered so much of help. My France friends have also joined in this. Thank you so much. Each and everybody in the group who have participated some way or the other contributed to the completion of my PhD degree. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again. And finally, I'm thanking myself for being so strong and completing this journey of 10 years physical education. From my completion of MPed, I wanted to do this just because it was Glory ma'am. I was able to complete at least now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you, Glory ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, Dr. Immaculate Steffy, for all
Thank
your
you, ma'am.
hard work and a positive attitude. I thank our college management, our correspondent and secretary, Dr. Asid sir, our principal, Dr. Johnson Prem Kumar, and all the teachers of our college. We have Dr. Jackson Sudhir Singh, Dr. Gladys Kirpagar, Dr. Abraham Davidson, Dr. Simpson Jesudas, Dr. Samuel Jesudas, Dr. Bobby, Dr. Girija, and we have all our teachers who have joined here. I thank you very much. And I also thank my PhD scholars, Dr. Maya, Sindhu, then so many have joined here, Navina Priya, and all. I thank you very much. You have been a great support in bringing up my candidates. I thank you very much. And also I thank Dr. Prem, because at a point of time, Steffi's PhD was in a death stage. He said, ma'am, you revive it. We were very disturbed in some other way, but he said God used Dr. Prem to be a strong support in reviving Steffi's PhD, and by his grace, by God's grace, we were able to complete it. And I sincerely thank for him also. I give a very thanks to controller, Dr. Murugavel sir, because whenever I approach him for Steffi's effort to do this, it was very positive, and it was giving a very big helping hand. I thank Dr. Murugavelu, Dr. Usha Rani, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, principal, everyone who have joined here. I thank you so much. If in case if I would have left anyone, like Dr. Ponnanpurus, our teacher is here, our faculty is here. Thank you, because he himself is a hockey player from sports hostel. That's why he was able to clarify things with you. Thank you so much for all of you being here. God bless everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Usha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can we end this, ma'am?